Right there they have a rock wall that is just stones laid sideways, slowly disappearing under the brush. And well, it's not stable or anything, it's just rocks laid on top of each other. So I don't know if you can see right here, there's some rocks up here near the road. But where it gets thick up here in this underbrush and trash, you'll start to see a rock pile that just follows right along. It's about, say, five-ish feet away from the bank here. And it's just rocks piled up on top of each other. Just all over the place. You got big rocks, you got little rocks, you got trash, you got limbs, all sorts of fun stuff. But up here, there's a good shot of some of it. Got some dead trees that need to come out. Some trash, rocks, trees. But up here is where I was working all day. What? So right here, there's a tree I cut down that I haven't picked up yet. There's a, what is that? It's a pine tree that I trimmed way up there at the top. I don't know if you can see all those trimmings that I did on that. Some little trees back there in the back. I got a fence post that has to go. But pretty much what I did is cleaned out that section over there. Coming this direction. I've trimmed up all these trees. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 trees right here that I need to cut down. I'm keeping the pine tree just right where it is. The other trees I'm cutting down because, well, they're in the way. That's the main thing. I got 2. This is an old fence post that used to be a living tree that's fallen over. Whole bunch of brush I cleared out right over there. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish clearing out these trees over here and piling them up all right there where I've got my big pile started. And there is a bunch of dead brush. Rocks everywhere, but a bunch of dead brush. So if you come over here and you just look down the road, when we had big major rains, all the debris just comes down this direction. And if you can see, the road curves right here. So this is where a bunch of debris has settled. The county has pushed it over and just pushed it back there. So I cannot think of a reasonable reason not to play with fire right now. But we're going to wait until it rains. After I cut down all this brush and the stumps and start actually separating out my rocks. I mean, there's a big pile of rocks right there. And once I clear out, where my dad's going to come through and mow down this tall stuff, I need probably 10 or 15 feet of free space so that I can lay out and start dismantling these rock piles, to lay out the rocks, to figure out what's good at what location. There's a bunch of trash in here too. A mattress. But We got some big rocks. We got some huge rocks. I mean, this one's, and that, what is that? At least 12 inches that I can see, and it's about 6 inches deep. No, wait, my foot. I wear 12s. So about 24 inches and about 12 inches deep. I have no idea how big that rock is, but that's going to be a monster. But I got all these trees. I got debris. I got metal. I mean, there's fence posts over there. So, just walking up here. I mean, this is just a giant pile of rock that has just been pulled out of the field. And has been sitting up here from what my dad was telling me, this has probably been up here for pushing 23 years that he knows of. So, I mean, it's definitely older than that. Oh, look, a tool I forgot. But there is trash and sticker bushes everywhere. And right here, there's part of a fence connects to the tree over there. I got 3 fence posts here, some old ones. We might actually be using those as guides here in a little bit, whenever I get to it. But my dad said, for the most part, this is my project and my project alone, so I have to handle pretty much everything. So, starting, I'm guessing Friday, I am going to learn how to use a chainsaw, which will be so much fun. I got a stump, or a fence post I need to cut out, and a tree that's also a fence post that I need to cut down. I got a cedar tree here. It's half dead, half alive, but I'm going to cut that down. And this thing right here, I'm going to cut it down. Mainly because whenever I catch all this fun stuff over here on fire, that thing's going to turn into a freaking bomb. So I don't want that to happen. I don't want to catch the grass on fire. So, this tree, I'm keeping this tree. There's no reason to cut down that one. Just cut down the ones in the rocks. And if they're big enough, leave them alone. But, look, see, there's a brick. No idea where that came from. But there's a brick. Man, I went online watching YouTube videos, and this looks like something that I can do while I am stuck. Can't see my family, can't be around my kids. I mean, this project, just this little bit, I mean, I've been told that I'm the only one that's going to be working on this. So I'm hoping that I can get a corner, not even sure what it's called, but an end cap basically started over there, and then just be able to filter in through the natural wall that's already here. Just go straight down the fence line. I mean, right here, I mean, good 15, 20 feet away from the curb. But if I just follow this line straight down, I mean, eventually we get into the 5 to 15, or not 5 to 15, 5 to 10 feet range. So some trees are going to need to be trimmed up. I mean, and what I'm saying with trimmed up is like what I did with this guy right here. I'm going to be cutting this one down. But I mean, I took off all my lower limbs so that I can just nip the tops off, throw them into my pile. and then just pull out the bottom. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is actually a hill right here underneath this, and that the rock pile doesn't go all the way down. But I won't know until later. But yeah, the majority of my day has been pulling this crap out of the way. And another bad thing is this is so close to the road. I mean, my dad really doesn't want to catch this on fire. But, I mean, it is really looking like there's no other way. We could put it on a trailer and haul it up to a burn pile that he has started. But just the amount of sticker bushes alone back here, and most of them are dead. There's only a few of them alive. They're just tangled mess, maze, and it's just a bit too difficult to get through. And this guy, I trimmed this guy up pretty good. There's a bunch of dead limbs that I chopped off on this side. On back here on the back, those two limbs right there, I don't know if you can see them, that I chopped off. Those were full grown branches that I just, what they were doing is they're hanging down right into this gap that you kind of now see. And wasn't really much I could do with them. But all these little tiny trees, I mean, if you can see that, just that tangle of sticker bushes right there. Just all, I mean, that is two trees. One has been split into two, and the other one is dead. This one off over here on this side is dead. But this is just a tangled mess of sticker bushes. That is one of the things I need to cut down. And then there's this little 3-stump tree over here. But after I cut down this little bit that I have right here, just going to throw it in the pile, wait for a good rain day before we just ignite it. Because we don't want the fire to be going over to that oak tree. There's some more pine and cedar trees over there. Some more pine and cedar. Now, across the road, we're looking pretty good. We got oaks and some other stuff. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But my big concern is this big guy right here. This guy, the wind catches it. This thing's gonna be a tinder, just go up like crazy. And right next to it's another one. And then right next to that is another one. So that is going to be quite a project. Now, over here where the grass is, like right here, there's a big ass rock. There's another one right there. This is just a little too unmanageable without just igniting it. So, hopefully Friday I will be able to get onto that, and my dad will be able to clear me a path on the back side so I can start pulling the rocks out and start separating them. And once I do that, I will work with him over trying to put some sort of fence or a gate right here. I keep having trouble with people driving up here. I mean, the road's right there, feeds right into it, so people drive up here constantly. We just need to get a barrier up so that people stop playing around back there. They can get hurt. There's plenty of snakes and other critters that want to eat you. But I am making a small fence, and I'm thinking that my end post is going to be right here. I mean, there's the pile right there, and I'm really thinking my where I want to start my wall and my foundation is going to be right, just following right along with this path. I just need to start with the dig down, find my foundation stones, and work my way. I'm only going to do a section pretty much up to where that fence is, actually. I mean, I cleared back a lot of stuff back there, mainly because we're going to catch this on fire, and I really, really don't want to catch any of the trees on fire. I mean, and since I'm doing it by myself, I mean, I think my dad will be out here when the fire is going on to make sure we don't get too out of control. But, I mean, look at these old stumps right here. Right. There's 3 of them there. There's a dead tree underneath that. This is some of the brush that the county's thrown over here. And all that stack over there is new. That's stuff that I've made. But I think once I get started, I will be able to make a decent wall. I mean, there's a lot of large, flat stones around here. If they're not flat, they're pretty close to it. That's all I got.